Let me pick a playlist. Let's do playlist Power Hour 1. Why not? So Power Hour 1, first song is Pure Imagination. And let's get started at a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's press the button. Okay. All right, so let's get started at the top of our mats. And let's take our blocks and place them in the front like so. And we'll just warm up with a little bit of sun salutations before we start to move a little bit more into the back side of our bodies. So as we come into our mountain pose for a minute, just settle in, feel your feet connect down. Feel yourself in space here, right? So notice as you're standing where your head is. If your head is forward from your shoulders, and kind of draw back. So always coming back to skeleton from biology class, grade 12. You want to make sure that the cervical spine has got its curve. The ears are not back, but in line. So again, up against that imaginary magic wall of yours. Shoulders up against that wall. Buttocks, but not so much because, well, if you've got a buttocks like mine, it'll probably be a little bit back behind the shoulders, but that's okay. And also just being mindful of what's going on in the legs. And we'll take a couple of breaths, just inhaling and exhaling. Feeling the breath moving through us from the soles of our feet right up through the crown of our heads. And then transitioning into Ujjayi breathing. Just inhale, we'll sweep the arms up over the head, we'll look up. And for this first time, if you want, we can sink down kind of nice and slowly. Let the belly rest on the thighs. Drop the hands and the head towards the floor. And if your hands coming to the floor is too far, you've got your blocks here you can place your hands on as we just start to open up the backs of the legs a little bit, bending one knee, drawing the other hip kind of up and back a little bit, and then switching from side to side. And then let's come up into a flat back. And here, just making sure, again, that the backs of the knees are not hyperextended. So keeping those legs lengthening, but not overly lengthening. Feel the tops of the hips draw back as the head comes forward. And then we'll exhale, fold back down again. And let's take our hands to the floor. We'll step ourselves back into plank for this first. And press the floor away. Melt the heart down. Feel the upper arms draw back. Head and heels away. And if you want a little bit more action to the front side of the body, start to feel the forearms and the feet pulling towards each other. Beautiful. Let's roll ourselves a little forward. We'll come all the way down to the mat. Inch your feet back for this first one. We'll start with a little cobra, rolling up and down a few times. Let your head touch. So rolling up and rolling down. Notice as you roll up, if it's pulling on the low back, again, feel the tailbone reach towards the heels and use your hands to pull the heart a little bit more forward. We'll do it one more time up. And as we exhale, slide the hands back underneath the breast, press hands and knees into the floor, outside beside the breast. Hands and knees first if you want, and into a little cat and cow, or right up into downward facing dog. And you can just wiggle around the hips. So if you are in cat and cow here, just feel the spine warm up. And then on your next exhale, exhale, we'll lift back up and into downward facing. And let's just pedal out the heels again, just a little bit from side to side. Beautiful. And then taking a moment to find a stillness in your downward dog, lengthening the back of the neck towards the hands, feeling the forearms and the wrists energetically lift up and forward as the hips draw back and away. Notice if there's where your shoulder blades are, and feel again as the upper arms draw back, that the shoulders really feel like they're connected onto the back. Let's take our heels, lift them up nice and high. Exhale, bend the knees, and let's just imagine, so a little bit of springing. And then when you feel ready, hop to the front and forward. Press down to the floor. Let's make our way all the way. You can roll up if you want for this first one. Arms up, palms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, this time if it feels okay to come into your flat back, of course do so. And coming into Ardha Uttanasana. Bend your knees, and if you want to come back into Chaturanga, just keep your elbows bent, reach your heart forward. Spring those legs back as you bend the elbows. Slide yourself through your cobra or maybe upward facing dog this time. Exhale, downward dog. Find a little stillness. Beautiful. Inhale again, we'll lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward and create a little bit of momentum, and then bring your feet towards your hands. Nice and soft. Hold. Coming into a flat back. And then lower even more. Pressing into the feet, root down, rise up. Arms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. We'll do one more. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Hands to the shins as you lengthen. Hands to the mat. Make your way through a vinyasa. Let's come back into plank pose. Beautiful. Hold. 3 more breaths here, lengthening from heels up through head, pulling the hands and feet towards each other, belly in. Beautiful. And then we're going to press into the hands, draw them forward, lift the hips up. Stretch the body. Walk our feet together. We're going to stretch the right leg up and back. And reach the foot away from the hands. Try to keep the hips level here. And then let's come forward. We'll bring that right foot towards the right thumb. So again, you can use your blocks here. You can drop the back knee. I like to drop the back knee, so I do, but you know you don't have to as you rock back and forth. Opening up the hips, opening up the hamstrings. Beautiful. And last one, we'll come back. And as we inhale forward, we'll once again plant the hands to the floor. Lift that back knee off the floor. Press the hands into the floor, melt the heart, and take that leg back into hanging plank. Beautiful. Let's touch our right elbow. We'll touch our left elbow. Melt the heart, belly in. Right elbow and left elbow. One last set. Beautiful. Coming back to center, stretch that leg all the way up. And then inhale, coming forward, either foot to the floor or hanging 3-legged plank as we lower down. Inhale, roll up through cobra or all the way up through upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a nice big inhale and exhale out through the mouth. I'm going to take that left leg. Reach it up and away from the hands. Coming forward. Did we just go right? Well, let's do one. Sweep up again. I don't remember if we did that or not, but we'll drop that left foot to the floor now, right knee to the mat, and move back and forth through this opening prep for lunges, opening prep for walking, for life. All right, this will be our last one, so come back. And as we inhale, come forward, we'll plant those hands again. Melt the heart, belly in, left knee to the up into hanging plank. Feel the upper arms draw back, heel and head away. Knee to the left elbow, and then the right. And left. And right. Last time. Beautiful, back through center. All the way up and back. Reach it away from the hands. Let the back of the neck be long. We're coming forward into hanging plank. You know you can drop your foot if you need to. This time, let's try chaturanga, three-legged if you're doing it. And then drop the foot down as you come through upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a nice big inhale. And a great big exhale through the mouth. Start to walk our hands back towards the feet. And your belly can rest on your thighs here. Let the back of the neck be long. You can hold on to your elbows. And do like 4 breaths, feeling as you inhale a little bit of length through the spine, and as you exhale, perhaps a little drop in. If it feels okay, you can start to swing the elbows around ever so slightly. Beautiful. We'll release the hands, and let's start to roll ourselves up. Press down to the floor, sweep the arms up, palms together, look up. And we'll slide our hands down to our hearts. Heart up into the hands as you inhale. Keep the heart lifted, release your hands. All right, so making our way into a little bit of a balancing pose. So pressing down through the right leg. We'll lift the left leg at first only because this way I can keep looking at you as we move. And you can hold on to the back of the leg. The right leg is a little soft. Pull the inner thighs back a little bit. So notice how that switches you. And if you need help here, you can take a tie and wrap it around your leg. We're going to stretch that left leg straight. Point it and flex. And point. This last time. Beautiful. We're going to draw that knee back in. Give it a little bit more of a hug. This time, we can do the same thing, stretching the leg, or try to do it without your hands, hands to the heart. Inner thighs go back, point, and flex. And point, and flex. Then bend the standing leg. We're going to reach that right leg, that left leg as far forward as it'll go. And let's sweep ourselves up into a lunge. Pull the legs towards each other, draw yourself back, let's start to bend, come into a nice little stretch through that quad. Pull your belly back, the sides of your ribs back. Inhale, stretch everything up and straight. Let's come again. And up. And last time, coming down. Take our head forward, we'll sweep our arms back. We're in this lunge pose. From the back heel, lengthen out to the crown of the head. Let's swim the arms forward, belly in. Exhale, swim the arms back. And forward, keep pulling the left shin back, hug the left hip towards the midline. Last time. Beautiful, we'll take the arms out to the side and we'll spin the right hand down, left arm can lift up towards the sky. Try not to let the right hip follow around. Beautiful, and then as we exhale, let's take that left arm over the head. Lengthen the back of the head towards that left hand. Beautiful, hands gonna come to the mat, back into plank pose, or if you wanna stop first into that hanging plank, and then back into plank pose, move through vinyasa. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a nice big inhale, and a great big exhale through the mouth. We're gonna walk ourselves again back to the back of the mat. I'm just flipping around. Inhale, you can roll up, root down, lift up, palms together. And hand come down to the heart. Okay, let's do the second leg. Press down through the left leg. We're going to start to lift that right leg up. Hold on to the back of the leg for the first one. Hold the thighs back behind you. Ooh. Softening through that standing leg so it doesn't feel locked as you bring that leg forward. Point the toe. Flex. Point. Flex. And then point again, draw that knee in a little higher. Again, inner thigh split back. You can do with the hands behind the leg again, or you can try it without as you stretch the leg forward. Point. Flex. Point. Excellent. And then standing leg softens as we reach that right leg forward and we sweep ourselves up into a lunge. Pull your shins back a little bit. Start to slowly lower, bending into that back leg a little bit. You can drop the arms. Inhale, coming back up. Bend, and lift, and bend. Beautiful. Let's take that head forward, hands back. So easy to drop the weight onto that thigh, so try not to hug the hips in towards each other. Lengthen the back heel away from the crown of the head, sweep the arms forward, inhale. Exhale, back. Forward, and back. Last time forward, and then this time out to the side. We'll spin from the belly, taking the left arm down. Left inner thigh hugging to midline, moving from the belly, not the hip. Coming into this twist. Beautiful. Take that arm over the head if that feels okay. And then back down towards the floor where you plant the hands. Press into the hands, draw that leg in, and again you can make your way back to hanging plank or hanging three-legged plank, three-legged chaturanga. You know your foot can be down. Upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward dog. Beautiful. Nice big inhale. And exhale through the mouth. Beautiful. One last one. Excellent. We're gonna bend our knee now, look forward, make our way back to the front of the mat. And forward. Pressing down, root down, rise up. Look up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Heart up into your hands as you inhale. Keep the heart lifted. Release your hands. Beautiful. So this time we're gonna, you have your blocks at the front. I'm moving all over here, so I'm just gonna grab those blocks again. We're going to do similar, but backwards this time. So starting with our left leg, we're going to put the weight into our right, start to lift that left leg up, moving from the inner thigh as the right inner thigh roots down, hips are hugging in. Again, you can hold on here or not. And then we're going to exhale, swim that leg all the way back behind us as we reach the heel away from the head, and let's bring our hands onto blocks. And try to lift up the heel so the heel is pretty much lined up with the hips, as is the head. Notice if the left hip is reaching out or looking out to the left, then let's let it look down towards the floor, or reach the right arm up and away. Soften through the standing leg, bringing elbow and knee towards each other, squeeze. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, reach. 3 more. Two more, and here's our last one. Let's hold it here. Squeeze in. See if you can start to imagine. You don't have to take your hand off of the block, but imagine that sensation of what would happen if you did. So notice if you're creating a lot of tension in your neck and shoulders, then of course stop that. It's just a matter of, seeing, I'm not taking my hand off, but I'm feeling it. And then I'm gonna stretch back. And now I'm going to take my hand off. So I'll take my hands to that front thigh. Left hip still looking down. You can bend that right knee a little bit. And then let's take that foot as far back as you can. Sweep the arms up. Open up warrior 2. Excellent. I'm getting hot. Getting hot. I'm going to take off later. Okay, so just take a look as you are in this pose. Take a look at your feet. Make sure you know the position of them. Make sure the knee is also moving forward. Make sure that the energy that is flowing from the back leg up into the pelvis is coming from the outside of the foot. And then let's reach the arms out. We inhale, let's stretch everything straight. As we exhale, let's slowly bring our hands back down. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, down. 3 more. There we go. All right, so moving from the waist now, we're going to drop into exalted warrior. And then we're going to come through Parsva. Now, you don't have to touch the thigh. You can actually reach the arm forward. Makes it a little bit more work through the core as we swing back and forth here. This will be our second one. Try not to let that right knee follow you here. So the legs are staying active on their own, and the movement here is only from your waist. You can start to notice that as you come through back and forth, there is like a good squeezing out of the belly muscles. I think this is second last one. We've got one last one. I could have been wrong there. This could be 6, but we're going to come, and now we can either rest here or bring your hand to the floor and rest here. Now, arm is either up in the air, so one arm, 2 hands, or you can follow that back leg and reach the arm away from the foot. Right buttocks is tucking under, left shoulder is leaning up against that magic wall with your head and other shoulder, and right shoulder too. Excellent, let's come down to the floor. Unplug that back heel, and we'll straighten that front leg coming into a straight leg runner stretcher. First go to Uttanasana. Beautiful. We'll bend that front knee again, plant the hands to the floor, make our way through a vinyasa. And then let's once again make our way back to the front of the mat. So I'm flipping, you don't have to. So to make your way all the way up. And we'll bring our hands to our heart. Heart up into the hands, soften the collarbone, soften the shoulders. Take an extra breath here, you know where we're headed. So gear up, like amp up through your Ujjayi breath. Pull up your pants. And then let's inhale, look up, palms together. Exhale, we'll fold forward. Okay, lengthen into your flat back. Let's take our, oh, sorry. Come back up, my mistake. Hands to the heart. We're gonna press down through the left leg. Lift the right leg up. Now again, you can do this without your hands, or you can hold on to your foot as you stretch that leg straight. Point, inner thigh spin back, flex, point, or flex and point. And then again, slowly coming through, head comes forward, leg goes back. Try to slow down the action so you're not kind of jumping or, falling onto the blocks. It's controlled. Reach the heel away from the crown of the head. And notice if the right hip is looking out to the right, and if it is, either feel the right hip dropping down or feel the inner right thigh lifting up towards the sky. All right, we're gonna draw our leg in and reach the left arm out. Reach them away from one another. You don't have to use the arms here, but by all means you can. Squeeze in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, in. Touch if you can. Inhale, squeeze out. 3. 2 more. Take your time with them, don't rush them. And this last one, we're going to come in and squeeze here and hold. Soften a little bit through that standing leg. And even though you probably won't take the hand off the block, just imagine that you can. Beautiful. Reach the leg back. And now we're going to take the weight out of it. The leg goes back. You can put the weight of your hands into that left leg. Lengthen away. And then tap that right foot down. Inhale up and open up, warrior 2. Nice work. So again, pulling the legs towards each other as you sweep up. And now we sweep back down. Keep going. So imagine that your arms have to work harder than they do here. So you're engaging those muscles a little bit more. So our last one. Beautiful. Let's come up to our exalted warrior. Keep the legs nice and active here as you move through the waist, back and forth. Parsa and exalted. Notice on the pause of the breath, just take a moment for stillness. You're in the depths of the pose, as deep down as you can be in them. All right, and this last one, of course, we'll hold and we'll stay here on Parsa, either arm up in the air or I'm tracing that back leg. Excellent. All right, coming down towards the floor. Planting the hands, once again coming into that three-legged plank pose. Sorry, three-legged hanging plank, and then three-legged plank pose, and deciding if you want to drop the leg as you move through. Downward facing dog. facing duck pose. So walk your heels together, toes out. Try to drop the heels towards the floor. And then again, hollow underarms as you start to draw the tops of the thigh bones back. Back of the neck long. Something a little different. You can start to walk your hands back a little bit as you go deeper into this different stretch, and be mindful. Some new things, don't know, if it's not working for you, be mindful. Don't continue to walk back. But if it feels okay, moving into the little Charlie Chaplin like standing. Not just have your feet in a regular hip width apart position. And we're gonna sink, come into a little squat here. And you can drop your hands towards the floor. You can start to lift your heels up off the mat as you come down. Feeling the stretch through the Achilles here. And then we're gonna look forward, and we're just gonna make our way back to the front of the mat, kind of bringing your feet off the floor, hopping like a little bit of a frog, making your way back. So notice as I come forward, I come off my feet for a second, and then I just kind of wing the ankles forward. So I always feel like I'm close enough to the floor, but I also feel there are times where I can just hold it. Beautiful. Now we're at the front of our mats. Now you have choices. You can hold on to your blocks, and I know some of you might be up here, and that's okay, so you're up here. But if you are down here, we're gonna draw our shoulders back and just keep going. All the way back up. Imagine you can touch the ceiling. And then we're gonna come all the way back down as low as we can into a squat. Touch the floor or not as we inhale, come all the way back up again. Do that 2 more times. And last one. Beautiful. Heel toe the feet back together and fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Hold again. Okay, so this time, coming up into a balance. So you can, of course, just lift yourself up and then lift your knee, or you can hold on to your shin, put the weight into your left leg, and start to lift that right shin up. Inner thigh splits back again, head and shoulders, also leaning up against that wall. Okay, see if we can hold on with just one hand, maybe no hands. Open that leg out to the right, and bring it back through center. Draw it over towards the left. Come back through center. To the right, and center, and to the left. Beautiful. One last time to the right. This time, bring your right foot closer on top of the left leg. So again, active stretching here. You're holding it, trying to draw the knee up. Passive, you let it rest. Pull the shin back, and if you're in passive, if you're in active, you're working hard enough, Rosemary. You don't have to move any farther. For the rest of us, we can sink coming into Kalavasana. Excellent. Here, if you want, you can even go farther, coming down towards the floor. You want to hold, wrap your hands, bind that leg, you can. You can even, if you want to try, lift yourself back up in this crazy position. Yeah, I know it's crazy. But if you're in this, you're going to hold for a second and then just come back down nice and slowly. Release. Okay, coming up this time as we come out, lift that right knee with you, hug it in, and then release back down to the floor. And just take a moment as you rock from side to side. It should feel like you've just done a little bit of a, oh goody, okay, getting there. All right, second leg. So pressing down through the right leg, let's start to lift that inner left thigh up. Soften through the back stand and the right standing leg. Don't push the back knee out. Spit your inner thighs out instead. Take that leg out towards, oh, sorry, come back down. For those of you that lifted up this way, I don't want you to miss out on this side. Lift up. All right. And then one hand or none. As we take the left knee out to the left, the hips trying to face forward and back through center and over towards the right. You should feel that in your glutes. And actually, just as much in the left side as in the right side, or right side as much as the left side. Out to the left, and then back. One last time like that, and then we'll hold it to the left. Beautiful, this time we'll hold it open. And again, if you're in this pose, just holding this active stretch, it's enough, you don't need to go any further, but if you're coming more into the passive Galabhasana stretch, the right shin is drawing back, the sides of the ribs are hugging back, you can reach the arms up here. You can stay in this pose or you can keep going, making the stretch through the hips a little more challenging. And you can either just keep your hands on the floor or you can come into baby cradle, holding the leg, and seeing if you want to try to lift into this crazy position. And then if you have that, take a breath up here, you made it, yay. And then slowly coming back down and resting. As you come up this time, we're going to take our arms up and our knee up, hug in. And then release. And just give yourself a little bit of, beautiful. And take a moment, come back into your standing mountain pose. Do you feel a bit of a fire in your behind? Beautiful. I hope so. So we're going to make our way down to the mat. And we'll do so through a squat. So again, you can come down and sweep the arms up. Oh, I've got one before we do that. So we're going to inhale, press into the legs, lift up, hands to the heart. Lift the ears back behind you a little bit and come up onto your toes. Exhale back down, sink back, Uttanasana. Pull the shins back, side of the ribs back. Inhale, come back up, lift the fingers, up on the toes. And if this time you want to stay up on the toes, as you come down, if this is hard on your knees, then don't do it. But you can lift the heels up and sweep yourself up into Uttanasana. Lift the heels up high. Really good for the arches, but it's hard for the knees. Come back up. And as we exhale, drop the heels down, make your way back. Uttanasana, and now we'll come all the way down. Keep sinking, and find the floor. Grab hold of the legs, hug them in. Feel your heart lift up. See if you can do this pose without your hands. Start with one hand, and then the second. Maybe you can straighten the leg. Maybe you can straighten both. Keep holding, breathe. And start to lean ourselves back, reach the head and the toes away from each other. Breathe. Now, if it feels like this is as far as you want to get, hold here. If you want to try to come back up, you can. And then come back and down. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale up. Feel the heart pulling you up, not your low back. Beautiful, and then holding, and then lower all the way down. And take a nice big inhale and feel the warmth. All right, start to bend those knees. And just start to imprint that low back to the floor. So press the low back down. You're gonna keep that low back on the floor as you take one leg up. Grab hold of the back of the thigh, and if grabbing hold of the back of the thigh just seems like too much shoulder work, get your handy dandy tie. Wrap it around the thigh a little lower than you think you need to. So that low back is imprinted. Then we're gonna start to slide that other leg straight, keeping that low back flat on the floor. Beautiful. Hug the hips towards each other. Upper body completely relaxed here. Sides of the hips hugging in, sides of the waist hugging in. We're going to take that right leg, lift it all the way up. And then exhale, slowly, slowly dropping it back down towards the floor. Keep going. Inhale up. Sounds like music, but my phone is ringing. And it doesn't stop. All right, holding here, hug in, hold. And again, you can stay just like this. Just check again, is your low back still flat to the floor? I hope so. Because if it's not, don't do the next one. But if you feel really connected down, you can reach your hands forward, let the ears draw back, and think of your heart trying to raise up towards that foot in the air. Breathe. Beautiful. One last breath. And then as we exhale again, we're going to bend that left knee and place that right leg on top. Press the thighs away from you. Here you can lift the low back off the mat, press the thighs away, and then you can press the low back down towards the floor, still pressing the thighs away. You should feel delightful. Excellent. And then pressing the, no, just release the hands. Hold the end of the mat, and again, we're going to come up into a bridge here. So let's open up our upper backs first, pull the mat apart. And you can either pull the mat apart to lift the heart up, or you can do it with robot arms. And if you feel that this is just too heavy, lifting your one leg up like this, then of course drop the leg, right? Just something a little different. And we're going to lift ourselves up. Press the back of the head into the floor. Feel the inner thigh soften down, right knee out to the right. Breathe. As you pull the left shin back towards you, we'll draw the right knee to the chest. And then we're going to reach that foot on a diagonal and hold here for 5, 4, keep breathing, 3, 2, and 1. As we come out of this, we're going to lift our right leg back up, inner thighs soften down to the mat. Beautiful. We're just going to end with a little holding of that leg. You can stretch the left leg out if you want. You don't have to. And again, you can roll yourself up, heart moving towards the toes, not head. And then start to lower yourself back down. Noticing a much bigger stretch in the hamstrings now. Staying with it for another breath or 2. Excellent. And then you can bend that knee. Excellent. All right, I'm gonna drop that right foot to the floor. We're gonna come back into knee in, holding onto the back of the leg, that low back flat to the floor. I'm going to start to slide that right leg straight as both hips hug towards each other. And again, you can just stay like this, or you can start to move, lifting that leg up, the low back stays flat. Start to lift the leg up. And start to lower it back down. Lift it up. And lower. So notice how that left hip wants to swing out to the left. Keep it hugging in. Last time like this. And then you can just let it hang for a second, and you can stay like this, or you can start to release your arms. You can stay like this, or you can start to lift the head up towards the toes, so the heart up towards the two toes. Sorry, that was not a good cue there. Squeeze the sides of the waist in. Beautiful. All right, we're going to come back down, plant the right foot, take the left foot into this thread the needle, and just press the legs away. So again, I know Rosemary, I did mention this, you know what to do here. I'm not too worried about you coming into this without your leg touching the knee. And the next one, you'll just come up north, you know. Sometimes you gotta wing it. Take the thighs away, create a little space here, a little softness, a little tenderness. Let the shoulders relax. Do a little bit of pelvic tilting. Beautiful, and then as we press the low back inward into the floor, hold on to the edge of the mat or come into your robot pose as you lift your heart up. And then as you start to press more weight into your right foot, pull the shin back and lift the outer hips up, letting the inner hips soften. Left knee out to the left. Back of the head on the mat, chin up, heart coming towards the chin, chin coming towards the ceiling. Breathe. And then pulling that right shin back, draw the left thigh to your chest, and then start to straighten it away. Hold. Beautiful. One last breath up here. I'm going to lift the leg back up, and then inner thigh soften as we drop the legs back down. We're going to grab hold of the leg again, start to walk the right leg straight, and then come into this hamstring stretch. Once you feel like you've had enough, you can lower the shoulders back down. It intensifies the stretch. You stay with this for a breath or two. Beautiful. And then we'll draw the knees into the chest, give them a hug, give both legs a hug. How are we doing for time? Oh, good. We have enough to do this next one. Okay. So you're going to take your blocks or something that gives you a little bit of height. You're going to place your blocks on something that's on your mat so that they don't move. And I'll tie it up into this. I don't want to be. So we're just moving a little bit into the glutes here. So we'll do 3 different sets. And again, you can stay with this first set if you want. The second 2 are one-legged. So again, finding that upper back opening. With our feet on blocks, you're going to start to roll yourself up. And then roll yourself back down. See how that extra height in the legs really makes your glutes have to work a little harder. 2. 3. 4. And 5. 5. 4. 3. You should start to feel as if your legs are starting to get a little bit fiery. 1 last one like that. Beautiful. Draw the knees into your chest, give them a hug. You can rock around here a little bit. I'm going to slide the blocks, that was loud, sorry, together so the legs are a little bit more centered. And then we're going to lift ourselves back up into this bridge pose. Now, you don't have to follow me, but if you want to, you're going to take one leg up and drop the hips down. Inhale, lift that heel back up. Keep the heart lifted. So upper back is still in a good bridge pose. 2, pull the left shin back in both positions. 3, 4. This bothers your knees again, maybe you want to stick with the first version. 5 more if you're feeling okay. 4, 3, come a little close. 2, and 1. Beautiful. Bend that knee, plant it back on the block, come up, pull the shins towards you. Hug the glutes in for a second, let them find a neutral firing. And then lower back down, take a moment, and wiggle out the hips. You can draw the knees in, you can do some circles. All right, last set, coming up. 2 legs. Taking that left leg, lifting it up. Exhale, inner thighs drop down. I lift up through my heel. 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1 last set. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Coming down. Plant both feet on the blocks. Make your way back up. Inner thighs soften down. Outer hips lift up. Pull the shins towards each other. Feel the glutes on. Lengthen the tailbone towards the heels. Pull the shins back, heart away from knees. And then slowly coming down. Plant the low back flat to the floor again. Draw the knees to your chest. Just rock a little bit from side to side. All warm and, cozy inside. Do some circles with the knees. Switch directions. Beautiful. We're going to come up into a happy baby. So either holding onto the backs of the knees, the outsides of the ankles of the feet. Shoulders drop down. Knees are dropping down. So if you're feeling your low back a lot, because that was a lot of work, don't take the deepest version of, like make this restorative as opposed to opening. Right? So hold on to the knees instead. Going to bring the soles of the feet together. So choices again here. As we start to lower our legs, you can keep your hands underneath your butt, especially again, if you've had enough with your low back, this is one more core work which will activate it. So belly is pressing down towards the floor, we're pressing the feet into each other. We're starting to reach the knees away from us. And then keep pressing the low back into the floor as you drop the feet to the mat. Oops. Take a nice big inhale. All right, so this last one is like the thigh master. I think we did this last week. So we're going to press into the feet. Feel here as you press into the feet an activation through your inner thigh muscles and also through your glute muscles. And we're going to slowly, as if there's so much power, think of yourself in an arm wrestle with your legs. So you are trying to pull the legs towards each other, but something, the universe is trying to keep them apart. And just keep letting your legs slowly win. And it should take like 5, 6, 7, 10 breaths to get your thighs together. And when you start to feel your feet getting crumpled, then just flatten them to the floor. Once the feet do, or the knees do come together, really squeeze them for a minute and feel the outer glutes getting a little activated. Then just release and we'll open them up again. Okay, do that about 2 more times. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And when they come together, squeeze the knees as if you've got a precious diamond between your legs and it's an earthquake. And then release one last time. So I'll show you what it looks like this way. You see how it gets to a point where the feet feel all crushed together so they start to flatten. And the legs shake a lot here, that's excellent. And then once they're together, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And now you can just release them back down and stretch them forward. And you can make your way just settling into a well-deserved Shavasana. And feel free here to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you want.